There's my handsome boy. Work was bad for you. Would you like me to read some Communist Manifesto? Your boss might hate it, but you love it. And I think that you're doing a very, very good job at work. And just the society doesn't appreciate how much effort and energy you put into it. And so they don't reward your labor accordingly. Yeah, baby. I can read some of it for you. Okay, we're gonna start on the first chapter. Is that okay with you? Okay. So, bourgeoisie and proletariat. The history of all hetero-existing societies is the history of class struggle. Freeman and slave, patrician and plebeian, lord and serf, guildmaster and journeyman. In a word, oppressor and oppressed stood in constant opposition to one another, carried on an uninterrupted, now hidden, now open fight, a fight that each time ended either in a revolutionary reconstitution of society at large or in the common ruin of the contending classes. In the early epochs of history, we find almost everywhere a complicated arrangement of society into various orders, a manifold gradation of social rank. In ancient Rome, we have patricians, knights, plebeians, slaves. In the Middle Ages, feudal lords, vassals, guildmasters, journeymen, apprentices, serfs. In almost all of these classes, again, subordinate gradations. The modern bourgeoisie society that has sprouted from the ruins of feudal society. I know, don't make fun of my pronunciation of bourgeoisie. English is not my first language. You know that, baby. Please don't. You know I'm very, angry whenever you correct my pronunciations because it makes me sad. Anyways, that have sprouted from the ruins of feudal society has not done away with class antagonisms. It has built, but established, new classes, new conditions of oppression, new forms of struggle in places of the old ones. Our epoch, the epoch of the bourgeoisie, possesses, however, this distinctive feature. It has amplified... Sorry, you just look a little, okay, let me fix that for you. Okay. Amplified the class antagonisms. Society as a whole is more and more splitting up into two great hostile camps, into two great classes, directly facing each other, bourgeoisie and proletariat. From the serfs in the Middle Ages sprang the charter burglars of the earliest towns. From these bourgeoisies, the first elements of the bourgeoisie were developed. The discovery of America, the rounding of the Cape, opened the fresh ground for the rising bourgeoisie. The East Indian, the Chinese market, the colonization of America, trade with the colonies, the increase in the means of exchange and the commodities generally gave to commerce, to navigation, to industry, an impulse never known before. This is what your boss is doing. He's amplifying, but he forgets that you're his worker and that you deserve more. And there arrived to the revolutionary element in the tottering feudal society, rapid development. The feudal system of industry, under which industrial production was monopolized by closed guilds, now no longer sufficed for the growing wants of the new markets. The manufacturing system took its place. The guild masters would push on one side by the manufacturing middle class. Division of labor between the different corporate guilds vanished in the face of division of labor in each single workshop. Meantime, the markets kept ever growing, the demand ever rising. Even manufacture no longer sufficed. Their open steam and machinery revolutionized industrial production. The place of manufacture was taken by the giant. by industrial millionaires, the leaders of whole industrial armies, the modern bourgeoisie. So your boss, yeah, he's exploiting you. He's not only not paying you sufficiently for your labor, he's exploiting you mentally. And I don't think that's okay, because you are so good, baby. You're so good. Modern industry has established a world market, for which the discovery of America paved the way. This market has given an immense development to commerce, to navigation, to communication by land. This development has, in its time, reacted to the extension of industry, and in proportion as an industry, commerce, navigation, railways extended, in the same proportion the bourgeoisie developed, increasing its capital, and pushed into the background every class handed down the Middle Ages. We see, therefore, how the modern bourgeoisie is itself the production of a long course of development, of a series of revolutions in the modes of production and exchange. Each step in the development of the bourgeoisie was accompanied by a corresponding political advance of that class, an oppressed class under the sway of the feudal nobility, an armed and self-governing association in the medieval commune. Here, independent urban republic, as in Italy and Germany, the taxable third state of the monarchy, as in France. Afterwards, in the period of manufacture proper, serving either the semi-feudal or the absolute monarchy as a counterpoise against the nobility, and in fact, cornerstone of the great monarchies in general. The bourgeoisie has at last, since the establishment of modern industry and of the world market, conquered for itself, in the modern representative state, exclusive political slave. The executive of the modern state, but a committee for managing the common affairs of the whole bourgeoisie. The bourgeoisie, historically, has played a most revolutionary part. The bourgeoisie, wherever it has got this upper hand, has put an end to all feudal, patriarchal, idyllic relations. It has pitilessly torn asunder the motley feudal ties that bound man to his natural superiors, and has left remaining no other nexus between man and man than naked self-interest and callous cash payment. It has drowned the most heavenly ecstasies of religious fervor, of chivalrous enthusiasm, of Philistine sentimentalism. In the icy waters of egotistical calculation, it has resolved personal worth into exchange value, and in place of numberless and indefeasible chartered freedoms, has set up that single unconscious freedom, free trade. In one word, for exploitation veiled by religious and political illusions, naked, shameless, direct, brutal exploitation. The bourgeoisie has stripped of its halo every occupation hitherto honored and looked up to with reverent awe. It has converted the physician, the lawyer, the priest, the poet, the man of science into its paid wage laborer. So your abilities, they're not worthless. You are being paid for them, right? But they're not worthless. They're not as your boss is making you feel that way. You're not worthless. Your abilities are actually priceless. You're worth so much more. And your boss, he could never do what you do. Okay? You're an artist. And you deserve to be treated as so. You're intelligent. You are unique. And what you get paid shouldn't define you as a person. Your boss, no matter what abilities you hold, has no right to treat you that way. Okay? Know your coworkers. Your coworkers should be on your side, actually, because at the end of the day, they're just as easy to fire as you. And it shouldn't be the case, shouldn't it? The bourgeoisie has torn away from the family its sentimental veil and has reduced the family relation to a mere money relation. I hope you don't see us that way. I hope I'm not just a tax benefit to you. Right. Also, sprinkle sucks for this reason. I do want to add my own personal opinion, because even looking at it from a feminist perspective, you should never rely on somebody financially. Never. You are a grown, independent adult. Every poor man and woman have always worked. Only the rich got the privilege to choose, right? We fought to be paid adequately. And that right is slowly trickling down, and they're forgetting that they have to pay us adequately. Don't forget about that. Don't. You are a laborer, and there's more laborers than there are rich people. They don't control you. The bourgeoisie has disclosed how it came to the pass that the brutal displays of vigor in the Middle Ages, which reactionists so much admire, found its fitting competent in the most slothful indolence. It has been the first to show what man's activity can bring about. It has accomplished wonders for the suppressing Egyptian pyramids, Roman aqueducts, and Gothic cathedrals. It has conducted expeditions that put in the shade of all former exoduses of nations and crusades. The bourgeoisie cannot exist without constantly revolutionizing the instruments of production, and thereby the relations of production, and with them the whole relations of society. Conservation of the old modes of production is an altered form. Was, on the contrary, the first condition of existence for all earlier industrial classes. Constant revolutionizing of production, uninterrupted disturbance of all societal conditions, everlasting uncertainty. Oh, let me see. Ooh, there's a lot to read for the first chapter. I forgot. So, how about we leave off at page 6-7? I'm gonna read this paragraph right here because I don't want to bore you. Okay? Is that okay? Do you feel better? Okay. Let me just read this last paragraph. Disturbance of all social conditions, everlasting uncertainty, and agitation distinguish the bourgeoisie epoch from all earlier ones. All fixed, fast-frozen relations with the trained, ancient, and venerable prejudices and opinions are swept away. All new foreign ones become antiquated before they can ossify, and that is solid melts into the air. All that is holy, profane, and man is at last compelled to face with sober senses his real conditions of life and his relations with his kind. I hope you feel so much better reading. You are amazing, and I don't want anybody to make you feel otherwise. You are worth more than money, and no human life or labor can be bought. Obviously, you deserve adequate payment for your labor. That doesn't mean money. That can also mean treatment. Your boss can treat you kindly. After all, you are participating willingly to be part of his team. He should be a leader, not somebody that makes you hate your place of workplace, because you are helping society by working. You have a place. If nobody worked, where would we be, right? So I want you to remember that even when you have your worst days at work, I'll be here to read you your favorite book.